Imagine a world where agriculture not only feeds the population, but also heals the earth, where each planted seed helps restore ecosystems instead of depleting them. This is the promising world of natural agriculture, a system where simplicity and ancient wisdom meet modern science to create harmony between humanity and nature. But how is it possible to achieve this balance? What if there is a better, more sustainable, and economical way to grow our food while taking care of our planet? In this video, we'll explore the principles of natural agriculture, formulated by the visionary Masanobu Fukuoka. We'll dive into a philosophy of cultivation that challenges conventional practices like plowing and heavy chemical use, opting instead for an approach that prioritizes observation and cooperation with nature. Throughout the video, we'll answer the initial questions and show how these principles not only address environmental concerns, but also offer tangible benefits for farmers and consumers, establishing a greener, more sustainable future. But after all, what is natural agriculture? Natural agriculture, often described as do-nothing farming, represents an agricultural philosophy and practice that challenges conventions, formulated by the visionary Japanese farmer Masanobu Fukuoka. Unlike conventional agriculture, which often relies on intensive interventions like plowing, chemical fertilization, and mechanical weed control, natural agriculture proposes an almost contemplative approach, respecting the autonomy and resilience of natural ecosystems. This system seeks not only simplicity in farming practices, but also a profound reconfiguration of the relationship between humans and nature. Fukuoka saw agriculture as a way of life that should follow the flow and rhythm of nature rather than trying to dominate or reshape it according to human ideals. He advocated that the best way to cultivate is not by manipulating the soil and organisms within it, but by learning to participate in natural cycles with minimal intervention. Understanding the principles of natural agriculture is essential from ecological, social, and economic perspectives. This knowledge brings benefits such as promotion of biodiversity, environmental sustainability, cost and input reduction, agricultural system resilience and self-sufficiency, improvement of soil health and nutrient cycles, alignment with ethical and philosophical principles, and promotion of human health and well-being. Therefore, the principles of natural agriculture serve not only to produce food sustainably, but also to foster robust ecological systems, resilient communities, and a healthier environment for present and future generations. Now let's move on to the fundamentals of natural agriculture, inspired by the ideas of Masanobu Fukuoka. So, the fundamental principles of natural agriculture are: Number 1. Harmony with nature. The principle of harmony with nature is one of the foundational pillars of natural agriculture, as proposed by Masanobu Fukuoka. This concept is not merely a cultivation technique, but a profound philosophy that seeks to redefine the interaction between humanity and the environment. The core idea is that agriculture should not be a disruptive force, but rather a harmonious extension of natural ecosystems. Promoting an interaction that aligns with natural processes means understanding and respecting nature's cycles and rhythms in all agricultural practices. This involves observing how natural systems operate, how nutrients are recycled in the soil, how water is managed by the ecosystem, and how plant and animal species interact. By aligning agricultural practices with these processes, farmers can create cultivation systems that naturally sustain soil health, increase biodiversity, and result in more resilient crops. This approach may include implementing polycultures, where various species are planted together to mimic the diversity of a natural ecosystem, or using permaculture practices that design agribusinesses to function as self-sustaining ecosystems. This harmonious interaction helps promote a balance in which plants grow in an environment that supports their health without the need for artificial inputs. Minimizing human interference does not mean abandoning cultivation, but rather employing careful and deliberate intervention that seeks not to disrupt natural processes. This principle reflects the belief that many conventional agricultural practices, such as plowing the soil, Applying chemical fertilizers and pesticides, or removing weeds, often do more harm than good. By reducing such interventions, natural agriculture aims to preserve ecological integrity, maintain soil structure, protect beneficial organisms living within it, and avoid pollution of watercourses and air. This minimization also embraces the idea that soil is a living organism, full of microbes that play essential roles in nutrient cycles and promoting plant health. Protecting these microorganisms and allowing them to operate undisturbed is crucial for maintaining fertile soil and ensuring the land's long-term sustainability. The impact of this principle of harmony with nature goes beyond food production. It promotes a more ethical and sustainable approach to agriculture that can restore degraded landscapes, help combat climate change through carbon sequestration, and increase agricultural systems' resilience to climatic extremes. By adopting the principle of harmony with nature, natural agriculture not only offers a sustainable way of farming, but also reinforces a commitment to preserving and enhancing the natural world for future generations. The second principle is the principle of non-intervention. The principle of non-intervention is one of the most revolutionary aspects of natural agriculture, as developed by Masanobu Fukuoka. This principle challenges traditional agricultural conventions, which often rely on intensive control and manipulation of the natural environment to maximize production. In contrast, non-intervention emphasizes a more passive, observational approach that seeks to understand and cooperate with natural processes rather than dominate them. The core of this principle is the belief that nature, if largely left untouched, has the ability to self-correct and maintain an ecological balance. This requires the farmer to become a keen observer of natural rhythms and patterns. By observing carefully, farmers can learn how different components of the ecosystem interact, and how these interactions can be facilitated to improve crop and soil health. For example, understanding the life cycles of beneficial insects and pests can lead to planting strategies that naturally control pest populations without the need for chemical pesticides. Similarly, observing which plants grow well together can inform polyculture practices that mimic the diversity of a natural ecosystem, increasing crop resilience and nutrient use efficiency. In this sense, cooperating with natural processes means integrating agricultural practices that sustain and reinforce natural cycles rather than disrupting them. The application of the principle of non-intervention offers several potential benefits, such as cost and resource reduction, increased biodiversity, improved soil and crop health, and long-term sustainability. The principle of non-intervention is therefore fundamental to promoting an agriculture that respects the limits and capacities of natural ecosystems, providing a model of food production that is both ecologically conscious and economically viable. The third principle of natural agriculture is simplicity. The principle of simplicity is one of the central foundations of natural agriculture, as proposed by Masanobu Fukuoka. This principle asserts that efficiency and effectiveness in agriculture should not be achieved through complex and costly technologies, but rather through methods that anyone can understand and apply, respecting nature and reducing environmental impact. Simplicity in agriculture involves using techniques that not only facilitate agricultural management, but also promote sustainability and resilience in farming systems. Examples of this include direct seeding, which involves planting seeds directly into the soil without prior plowing, reducing soil disturbance and preserving its structure and microbiota. Another example is soil covering, which involves using natural materials, such as straw or leaves, to cover the soil between and around crops. This helps retain moisture, suppress weed growth, and protect the soil from erosion. The principle of simplicity also implies replacing complex tools and techniques with more natural and accessible solutions. Instead of relying on heavy machinery and advanced technologies, natural agriculture suggests using simple tools and methods that any farmer can implement without large investments. For example, using manual tools for tasks such as planting, weeding, and harvesting can effectively reduce reliance on fossil fuels and minimize soil compaction. Implementing the principle of simplicity brings various benefits, such as cost reduction, promoting accessibility, making agriculture more accessible so that more people can participate and contribute to local food production, strengthening rural communities. Natural agriculture, through the principle of simplicity, also has a lower environmental impact, as simple tools and natural practices tend to be less disruptive to the environment, helping to preserve local ecosystems. And with this principle, it is also possible to promote self-sufficiency, where farmers who use simple methods become less dependent on external inputs and adapt more easily to changes in local conditions. The principle of simplicity in natural agriculture not only facilitates sustainable and low-cost farming practices, but also reinforces a philosophy of life that values independence, resilience, and balance with the natural environment. This holistic approach contributes to a more just and sustainable agricultural system, accessible to all. And the fourth principle of natural agriculture is the natural cycle. The principle of the natural cycle is one of the cornerstones of natural agriculture, based on the idea that an agricultural ecosystem should be self-sustaining and capable of regenerating its own fertility. This principle emphasizes the importance of closing the nutrient cycle within the agricultural environment, minimizing the loss of organic matter, and promoting the ongoing health of the soil. Closing the nutrient cycle means that all elements contributing to soil fertility should be recycled within the agricultural system. This involves a series of practices and strategies, including composting, which consists of transforming organic waste, such as crop residues, manure, and food scraps, into nutrient-rich compounds that can be reintroduced into the soil. Composting not only recycles essential nutrients, but also contributes to soil health by increasing its capacity to retain water and nutrients. Crop rotation and cover crops also contribute to a more closed nutrient cycle. By alternating different types of crops and using cover crops that fix nitrogen, these practices help maintain soil nutrient balance, prevent erosion, and suppress weeds without chemical intervention. Cover crops such as legumes can fix atmospheric nitrogen in the soil, while other plants can extract nutrients from deeper soil layers, bringing them to the surface. Animal integration also promotes a more closed nutrient cycle. Including animals in the agricultural system as part of an agroforestry or permaculture design can help close the nutrient cycle by utilizing manure and other animal waste as natural fertilizers. Another way to contribute to the natural cycle is by preventing the loss of organic matter. Organic matter is vital to soil health as it serves as a source of nutrients, improves soil structure, and increases its capacity to retain water and nutrients. Protecting and increasing organic matter in the soil is essential for the long-term sustainability of any agricultural system. This can be achieved through mulching or dead covering, which involves applying a layer of organic material such as straw or leaves over the soil to reduce water evaporation, moderate soil temperature, suppress weed growth, and gradually decompose to add organic matter to the soil. To prevent the loss of organic matter, it is also useful to minimize soil disturbance. Techniques like no-till and direct seeding help maintain soil structure, preserve beneficial microorganisms, and prevent soil erosion and degradation. The application of the principle of the natural cycle brings several benefits, such as ecological sustainability, as maintaining a closed nutrient cycle reduces the need for synthetic fertilizers, lowering pollution and the energy costs associated with conventional agriculture. Another benefit is climate resilience, as soils rich in organic matter are more effective in retaining water, making them more resilient under drought conditions. We also have the benefit of sustained productivity, as healthy soils promote the growth of stronger, more productive plants that are better able to resist pests and diseases. The principle of the natural cycle is essential for creating an agricultural system that not only produces food, but also sustains its own fertility and contributes to overall environmental health. This principle is the foundation for truly sustainable and regenerative agriculture. In the book The One Straw Revolution by Fukuoka, he details his philosophy and the techniques of natural agriculture. The principles have already been introduced here, so now let's discuss other fundamental aspects of this book. The practices. Natural agriculture is based on practices that seek not only sustainability in food production, but also the restoration and strengthening of natural systems. These practices are elevated to the status of fundamental principles due to their vital importance in promoting a healthy and resilient agricultural ecosystem. Principle of direct seeding. The principle of direct seeding holds that seeds should be planted directly into the soil without prior preparation, such as plowing. This method allows nature to play an active role in preparing the seedbed, facilitating seed germination in an environment that mimics natural conditions. This not only reduces soil disturbance, but also preserves its structure and the microbial biodiversity vital for healthy soil. Direct seeding reflects respect for natural processes, minimizing human intervention and promoting a more robust and sustainable development of plants. Principle of soil covering. Using natural materials such as straw to cover the soil is a principle aimed at protecting the soil from erosion, regulating its temperature and maintaining moisture. This practice not only conserves water, essential for plant growth, but also creates a stable microclimate that supports soil biodiversity. Soil covering is fundamental for maintaining long-term soil health, reducing the need for irrigation, and protecting essential nutrients that could be lost through leaching or evaporation. Principle of no fertilization. This principle is based on the belief that the soil, if properly cared for and undisturbed, has all the nutrients necessary for plant development. Avoiding artificial fertilizers not only protects the soil ecosystem from chemical imbalances, but also promotes plant health sustainably. No fertilization encourages the practice of composting and using organic waste as alternatives to enrich the soil, fostering a closed nutrient cycle that benefits both the soil and the crops. Principle of no tillage. Abstaining from tilling the soil is a principle that protects its structure and the beneficial organisms residing within it. Traditional plowing can destroy the mycorrhizal network and disrupt the habitats of microorganisms essential for plant nutrition and soil health. By avoiding this practice, natural agriculture preserves soil integrity, increases water and nutrient retention, and promotes a more resilient environment against erosion and degradation. By transforming these practices into fundamental principles, natural agriculture reinforces its commitment to methods that are not only sustainable, but also regenerative, supporting the creation of agricultural systems that are truly in harmony with the natural environment. These principles are essential for cultivating in a way that preserves the land and its resources for future generations, ensuring the resilience and productivity of the agricultural ecosystem. As we've seen, natural agriculture is not just an alternative to conventional agricultural practices, but a necessary response to the growing ecological and economic crises we face. The principles of harmony with nature, non-intervention, simplicity, and the natural cycle that we have presented here not only answer the questions raised at the beginning of this video, but also illuminate a path toward an agriculture that respects the complexity and healing capacity of nature. For consumers, these principles mean purer, healthier food. For farmers, they represent reduced costs and increased resilience of their lands. And for our society, it's a promise of sustainability and respect for the environment that will benefit not only the present generation, but also future ones. By adopting natural agriculture, we are not just choosing an agricultural technique. We are choosing a future where harmony with nature is the foundation for growth and prosperity. This is a path that restores not only the land, but also the soul of agriculture. See you next time, and let's move toward a bountiful earth.